I surprisingly haven't figured out my resolutions fully yet this year.
I think I actually haven't either.
And I think that's okay because...
you kind of get one shot at it, though. It's called midnight.
Damn it. Okay, never mind. I'll wait till next year.
Disturbing the peace with some peace of mind. Sleeping in jeans, I'ma need a night. OD on a cheap advice. OC on the cheapest flight. Lately I've been on the move trying to get to something. But I told her I've been running just to see the sights.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Or should I say ladies and germs, because we're both so sick.
Man, we are sick. But that's not stopping us.
Proof we're sick.
Today on the show...
Dude, I just did the worst attempt at a kickflip, and it was really embarrassing. And I think...
Do you want redemption?
I almost want to just start over, but it was that bad, but I'm just going to put that over there.
We finally have almost launched this podcast.
I know, we're like on the uploads end of it.
Yeah, the first episode's literally uploading back there. And we realized we need some, like, channel art, some thumbnail photos, some something. So, today's episode, I don't know if it's going to be great on audio or if it's going to be great at all. But we're going to try to make our channel art out of PlayDoh while we're recording this podcast. If you're on audio and it's weird, it's because we're playing with PlayDoh.
If it sounds like...
Yeah. We're also in classic Friends with Benedicts form, balancing our phones on C-stands as our audio. So sorry for the shit audio again.
I think mine is like not in a good spot. Okay, hold on. Pause.
Okay.
Editor, cut this out.
Braxton,
piece of shit. Okay.
All right. Now that you have it positioned, hold your phone for a second because I want to try something.
Okay.
Just go with me for this.
Okay.
Because we might need it.
Okay.
Okay. What are we doing? Okay. Just go with me. Okay. Hi, I'm Jake.
Hi, Jake. I'm Shaffer.
Shoot, that didn't go as planned.
Oh, you wanted me to say hi, I'm Shaffer.
Yeah, let's try one more time.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
Hi, I'm Jake.
Hi, I'm Shaffer.
And you're listening to
Friends with Benedicts.
Breakfast around the world. Nice.
That was really good.
Back to the business at hand.
Yeah. One of my favorite Jake Frew quotes is, "Friends come and go, business is forever. It's business time."
That's right. Me and Shaffer are strictly business partners.
Exactly. Dude, in the time it took you to open all those, I opened 2.
Wow. Yeah, considering we're business partners and this was a strictly business trip that I came out to Gunnison, we've been having the best time ever.
We have, and I've told Jake for literally years now that this is the best place on earth. And, you know, we got Friends with Benedicts breakfast around the world. We've been to Austria. We've been to Germany. We've been to Washington, D.C. We've been all over and recorded podcasts in every single place.
And none of those are going to get released.
And you'll never hear any about that. But this is my favorite place in the entire world. It always will be, no matter where we go. And it just goes to show,
man,
you don't know what you got
till it's not there anymore.
Until you go to Germany.
Go somewhere else. Well, that's what's crazy is like, okay, I've never considered myself a small town guy. Like, they've always kind of scared me, if I'm honest. Like, I really appreciate anonymity and being able to go out and not think you're going to see anyone you know. So for that reason, small towns have always freaked me out a little bit. But I was talking the other day, so we just had the best time ever in New York City, one of the biggest cities in the world. And then now we're having the best time ever in Gunnison, Colorado, this tiny little nothing town. And so it's just like, how are you supposed to figure out what you want to do with your life if you have the best time ever in a big city and the best time ever in a tiny little town?
Yeah. Yeah, it's been weird on my end too, because I hate big cities, like the same way Jake is intimidated by small towns, I'm super intimidated by big cities, and man, New York was just the best. We had such a good time. But I can't help but feel like I'm home when I'm here. Like, I think even if I was to move to New York City for whatever amount of time, I would not feel like I was home until I came back here. And I only think that because I've tried to leave this stupid town so many times, and I always move back. I love it so much. Yeah. It's not fair.
So far, as soon as I arrived, I don't remember everything we did, but the highlights were like, we ended up at this gas station where we were all microwaving burritos, and it took forever, and then we ate our burritos on top of a trash can. And then we went to this house party where we played Nerf gun wars for like 2 hours straight while we were fingerboarding. And then when midnight hit, we just all panic left to a hill, or when it was almost midnight for New Year's. It's New Year's right now, by the way. We just kind of ended up running through waist deep snow up a hill that had absolutely no view at all on the other side.
Okay. Yeah, there's a hill that overlooks town that used to be really, really, really sick, but some rich snobs bought it and built a house right on the lookout point, and I hadn't been up there in a while. And so I was like, we gotta go up to this hill for midnight. And so we drive up in the dead of night at midnight and get up to the top of the hill and climb up in waist deep snow to the top of this thing, only to see the back of a house.
It was the worst view ever.
It really was.
It was the back of one house with its like dumpster and construction equipment. But it was one of, if not the most memorable New Year's ever, because we were just soaking wet, freezing cold, trudging through waist deep snow as it was turning midnight, all excited, crest the hill to this nothing view. But it was just, again, like, anything good is just about like the people and the attitudes of the people that you're with, because it was such a fun New Year's.
Dude, I think that's kind of like, I don't know, maybe like a point of contention I have even with the whole idea of the podcast and recording on all different places all over the place, is just like, I think it makes it seem like you have to travel and stuff to have like really cool memories like that, but that just happened at home. And I mean, I don't know, I think it's comparable to anything we've done anywhere else.
Yeah, totally.
Which is kind of like what we were just talking about, like living at home or living whatever. It's like, man, maybe you can just kind of like enjoy life no matter where you're at.
Yeah. And I think that hopefully is starting to become more understood, because I remember in the 2016, 2017 YouTube days, travel was the thing,
Yeah.
And I remember making videos and feeling like, oh, if I could go these cool places, I could make such better work. And I remember hearing other people say the same thing, like, my town is so boring, I could never make videos this good, because there's nothing here. And there's so much to be said for, like, finding the uniqueness or beauty of the small, stupid things. Like, I don't know what I'm having a hard time putting into words, but some of the strongest memories from this weekend have been, like I said, eating a burrito on top of a trash can and trudging through waist-deep snow. So when it comes to artwork and videos, if you think you need to travel somewhere cool to make something good, you'll never make something good. Like, you can always make something no matter where you're at or how seemingly uninspiring your surroundings are.
Man, it's actually the exact opposite for me as to what you would expect. When, man, I feel like I'm really flexing here. But in the last couple months, I've gone to Paris and New York City and gotten a bunch of footage from both of those places. And both of those videos are the hardest videos I've ever made. Because I'm just like, when I'm here, I have all these, so much familiarity and all this motivation to be like, oh, I want to do this with this person for this reason, for this part of the story. While as in New York, it's just like, I just want to get a sick shot of, like, the ocean, and then it's like, that doesn't do anything good for me and the storytelling side of things. It's just like empty cool shots. And man, I sure do feel like a lot of my life has been chasing empty cool shots only to get back to my computer and say, I don't even like these. They're beautiful, but I just don't even care about them.
Totally. My God.
Only to find out, like, the stuff I shoot in the backyard, I'm like, I feel like it's all motivated, you know what I mean? Like I actually have a purpose for shooting it. And that's one of those things where when we talk about moving to New York City, that's honestly one of my main hesitations is like, well, am I just going to get more epic New York City? Are we going to move to New York City? I'm going to have a year's worth of epic city shots that I have no purpose for? I don't know.
I think it is, well, for me, it's that constraints breed creativity. And when you go somewhere brand new, you know nothing about it, it feels completely unconstrained. And so, like you said, I'll usually end up just shooting things that look cool.
Yeah.
Because everything looks cool. But inevitably, you get used to any place you go. And I think wherever you are, you always eventually have to put those constraints on yourself. That's like, I need to think this through and shoot something intentionally rather than just shooting pretty things.
Yeah.
I lost track because I started realizing this spinach I'm making looks really bad.
I was just about to say, I'm about to really change this thing up and you're going to see exactly where I'm going with this. But right now, it does not look so good.
I know exactly where you're going and it's going to look amazing.
You think so?
Yeah, 100%. And if I know where you're going, you're going to need a knife.
Oh, well, I'm going to get a knife.
Okay, is that where you're going?
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
Wow, nice. I don't like this pile of spinach, but I'm going to keep going with it.
I think it looks good. Dude, I think it looks really good.
Okay.
It's not going to be a very big salad. Of course you're making veggie stuff.
Well, yeah. It's also hard because all we have is green, blue, and orange.
Yeah. The eggs are going to be very weird.
I already made eggs.
Oh, they look good. I didn't even see those. Wow, good job. Those don't look weird at all.
For audio listeners, I'm making eggs.
But they look like they've been left out on the sidewalk for a couple hours. All right, Jake. We need to wake up.
Yeah.
I feel like this is going nowhere. I'm so tired.
We've been going nonstop.
We have been going nonstop. We've been snowboarding. We've been talking about getting tattoos. We have been getting tattoos.
Yeah.
We've been
we had an all day long powder day yesterday and just nonstop snowboard powder runs. It just worked me.
Yeah.
So So where are we going with this? What should we talk about?
I don't know. We don't have the notebook.
Shoot, we don't have the notes. I mean, I don't know. I still think that conversation is a really interesting one, an important one, just about like thinking you always need to be somewhere else for inspiration or need something bigger or better for inspiration. Like if you think that, it's not true. And it's never going to come until you like work with the constraints that you have.
Yeah, I think okay, here's a question.
Oh, okay.
So say you have like a city like New York City, right? Or you got the kind of place where it's what I feel when I go there, where it's just like, okay, I'll just get a bunch of shots of wherever I'm walking, whatever. And then you got what I'm talking about, where it's like, okay, you feel like you got a grasp on it. You feel like you're able to sort of like plan things out. Do you think the difference between just like epic footage of whatever's happening and motivated, thought out, story driven footage, do you think it's the difference between familiar, like what do you think would be the catalyst to me being in New York City right now and like going and getting shots that I actually planned out instead of just shots of skyscrapers in the ocean and people walking around? Is it because I almost think it's budget. Because that's one thing about here is like you can film anywhere. Mm-hmm. Carry that thought on while I get it.
Well, yeah, I think I see where you're going. And, well, until budget. You might have lost me at budget.
Yeah.
But to me, even in Denver, I kind of just shoot things that are cool, and then I put the thought in afterwards. So maybe I'm going on a hike at sunset with a friend. I just film really cool stuff.
Yeah.
And then I put the thought in later or beforehand into just how that will actually be useful and support a narrative that I'm trying to tell.
That's what I do too. And do you want to keep doing that? Because I don't want to keep doing that.
No, I don't want to keep doing that. And I mean, this is kind of a random aside, but a place like New York City, what I love so much about it is just that it feels like an endless source of inspiration. So not even just the fact that there's a bunch of cool looking things, but there's just such a like palpable energy there, and there's so many inspiring things that happen just by walking around that it's like a source of inspiration that hopefully gives you even more ideas of what to create. And stuff.
Yeah. I guess it's interesting because I feel that more here than there.
Oh, wow.
Which is weird because I understand, like, there's way more happening in New York City. Like, there's way more, like, whatever, just, like, random happenstantial things that you could never plan for. But it doesn't inspire me the same way it does out here. Like, out here, I feel like it's stuff I can actually get a grasp on. And in New York City, even though it's, like, its own form of, like, I don't know, like, I don't know. Like, it's motivating, and I freaking blew that cut, dude. Oh, I blew it.
No, that's okay. Bacon's not perfect all the time.
Oh, but I'm supposed to be perfect all the time, and I messed up.
That's true.
I don't know what I'm saying, dude. I'm just defaulting back to what I always default back to, which is just I really like it here, and I can't help it. And I'm scared to leave because I like it so much. So there's always like a devil on my shoulder. I'm always like, oh, I gotta move on with my life and go do something like bigger than just what I could accomplish in Gunnison. Yeah. But then there's that devil on my shoulder that is basically saying exactly what we're saying, which is like, you have all the constraints you need to be creative here, and New York City has everything but constraints.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. Good point.
So suck on that, New York City.
No, dude, you're gonna move there with me. It's gonna happen.
It's not out of the cards, that's for sure. But I'm still scared. This bacon looks mighty uncooked, and it doesn't look like bacon.
Considering you have bright pink and mustard yellow, it's true. Pretty good.
That's true.
I think, especially, look, put this next to my eggs.
Oh, wow, yeah.
That's eggs and bacon.
You're right.
That's awesome. I don't know if this makes for a better listening experience, but man, I like being able to play with PlayDoh while we're talking.
I feel like I'm having a hard time like putting the correct inflection in my voice while I talk because I'm so focused on my PlayDoh.
I'm not focused on talking at all or what we're talking about. I'm just reminiscing about New York City and our weekend here. I don't know if I want to talk about this. Honestly, I don't want to talk about it.
All right.
So if it doesn't last long, that's fine.
Okay.
But man, AI and ChatGPT and all that stuff is just all over right now. And I don't know if you have any thoughts you want to share on it. But I'm terrified of it and kind of excited. But
this is such a big topic that is so hard to fully wrap my brain around when my entire being is like sucked into this PlayDoh bacon I'm trying to make. This bacon is ruining everything for me.
Okay, good. I don't want to talk about AI anyway, honestly. What about...
So how about it's just like you just keep coming up with ideas and I'll just keep shooting them down and saying it's because of my bacon.
What about...
where did the blue come from? Oh, that's green.
Yeah, I don't know how blue's going to come in handy for making breakfast food, but...
Yeah, water.
Oh, yeah.
A cup of water.
I was trying to make this broccoli, but I think it's asparagus.
Oh, that looks really good. Dude, yours looks really good.
All right, we're going to make it asparagus.
We're doing a pretty good job here.
Yeah. The goal is... I don't know if we already said this. The goal is to get some artwork for our podcast channel. Kind of get some branding going, and Shaffer made this sick PlayDoh Earth logo for the podcast, so I think we're just kind of rolling with some PlayDoh branding.
And that's the extent of the creative process. Orange juice. Oh,
that's a perfect one. Do you have any clear glasses?
Yeah, but that's not Play-Doh. I don't actually.
I just mean for when we take the photo, you can have Well, how are you going to make orange juice without a glass?
Watch me.
Okay.
Do you need this?
No.
Oh, I guess we have 2.
Yeah, we got more. What's been inspiring you lately, artwork wise? You seen any? Do we have a Shaffer's pick of the week?
Dude, I don't have a Schaefer's pick
Oh,
of the week.
no.
I haven't had any time in the last...
That's because I've been here distracting you.
No, well, I mean, partially, but that's a good thing. I'd way rather have that. But man, I don't even know if this is like even worth talking about. But the holidays just, when you get older, the holidays turn into something different. Like,
Yeah.
I still love it, and like I still love seeing my family and everything. But just because of where I live, like I'm kind of the one that travels, you know. And God, I've just been going back and forth from here to Denver so many times. Like this is the first week. This will be the first weekend I've spent at my house in like 5 weeks. I've been in Denver like every week.
Oh wow,
So
that's
I haven't
crazy
really had
because
any
I've only
time.
seen you in Denver like one time.
Well,
Weird.
see, orange juice.
It's just a blob of orange Play-Doh.
It's not done yet. I gotta get this shape right. Are we gonna need any more orange? I might need all of it.
Use all the orange.
Okay.
We'll just each only have one egg for our breakfast.
Okay.
Well, yeah, speaking of that, obviously, who knows when this one's coming out, but who cares? What do you think about New Year's resolutions?
There it is. That's
yeah.
what I wanted to talk about.
For some reason, it's a polarizing topic. Like, some people are so passionately against New Year's resolutions.
Dude, I love New Year's resolutions. I actually think New Year's is my all-time favorite holiday ever.
Wow.
And actually, it's probably not good because it carries a lot of weight in my mind. Like, I think New Year's does truly set a tone for the rest of my year. And I don't think that's real, but I think it's sort of become real, you know?
Yeah.
It's like if I have a bad New Year's, generally my year isn't great.
Wow.
If I have a good New Year's, historically, it's been like pretty good. Except, one of my best New Year's ever, 2020, but...
Oh, no.
2020 was a good year, actually, other than everyone dying.
Yes.
And then everyone having to stay home the entire year for 2 years. And the part where everyone got really sick. And then the part where the whole country melted down because everyone was racist secretly and we all found out about it. But other than that, it was a pretty good year for me.
The catalyst year for everything bad that's happened since then.
Yeah. So, wow, man, maybe New Year's, maybe it's not what I thought it was.
No, I know what you mean. And that regardless of... I know the people that are passionately against it are like, well, you can make life changes anytime you want. You don't need New Year's to make life changes. And it's like, yes, that's true, and that's fine. But the idea of a fresh start is so powerful to the human brain.
Yeah.
That when you have not only a fresh start, but a fresh start that everyone collectively talks about and thinks about, you can harness that for some serious change in your life. And yeah, maybe it only lasts through January, but that's fine. Like, just starting it and doing it and trying it is such a beautiful thing. It bugs me when people are like, oh yeah, good luck, you'll only make it through January anyway.
Well, I think there are things like, take going for the gym, for example, because that's like a cliche one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is always like kind of waiting for someone to sort of make them do it, or waiting for some sort of catalyst to come along in their life that's going to be like the thing that makes like, okay, now I got to take this seriously.
Yeah.
But no one ever really identifies what that is, like what that's going to actually look like. And New Year's to me is just the perfect opportunity to just be like, you know what? Like everyone else is in the same mood right now. Mm-hmm. And that is just like, let's make our lives just a tiny bit better. Why wouldn't you, like, I just don't understand. I'm going to turn this into orange slices.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, and you can use this as like the rind, maybe?
Oh, yeah. Anyway.
Or just make orange slices.
How about you do what you're doing over there? As you can see.
Listen, dude, after you made a cup of orange juice, I'm seriously doubting your...
Look, when you put it there, it looks just like a cup of orange juice.
Okay, it doesn't look bad next to all the rest of the
It actually does.
It has cracks in it.
Just like normal orange juice.
Yeah, dude, go with orange slices.
I'm gonna go with orange slices. Anyway,
Yeah.
New Year's is great.
Dude, yeah, because I don't know, it's so easy to just coast as a human. Even if whatever situation you're in isn't great, if you're comfortable with that not great thing, it is so easy to just be like, well, this isn't great, but it's comfortable, so I'll stay in it.
Yeah.
So anytime you have an opportunity to say, you know what, I'm going to try quitting drinking and seeing what that does to my life.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to try walking for 10 minutes around my block every day. Like, that's a hard thing to do, even though it's a small thing to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, having an opportunity to do it where you feel like you're not alone making that change, that's so cool.
Do you want to know my top tip for New Year's resolutions? Because I'm actually really good at them. So
Hit us with Shaffer's top tips.
Oh, and then maybe we can say our New Year's resolutions. But every year I make New Year's resolutions, and I've never not accomplished them. Every single year, I always accomplish them.
That's awesome.
And I have a secret to it. And this goes deeper than just New Year's resolutions, because this is also how I quit drinking, like the way I was able to stick to it. And it's really simple. And obviously drinking is a complex thing, and this isn't the solution to quitting drinking. But it does help, like with big life changes, and that is just tell everybody that's what you're doing. Just like everyone you see, even if they don't ask. Just be like when I quit drinking, dude, it was just like anyone I could tell, I would just be like, oh yeah, I quit drinking this year. And it was like, even though that it almost never added anything to the conversation or context, and a lot of times it feels like you're like boasting or bragging or whatever.
Yeah.
It just forces you to hold yourself to it. Because for me anyway, one of my biggest fears is like really letting someone down or like lying to someone, and so when they see you and they're like, oh, how's the not drinking thing going, you're like, oh, like the day after I told you that, I gave up on it.
Yeah.
For me anyway, it's like unbearable.
So
people always say like write your resolutions down. I say don't write them down, just tell everybody. And like make that a personality trait.
That's
your
really
New Year's
good.
resolutions like isn't just something you're gonna do, it's like something you are now, and you want people to know, you know.
That's really good, and that contradicts some beliefs or thoughts that I've held for a long time, and maybe my thoughts still exist in parallel to yours, because a thought I've often had is don't talk about your goals, start on them. And I think in part that's related to this human psychology thing where if you've been thinking about starting a clothing company, and you tell someone, yeah, I'm going to start this clothing company, it's going to be sick, it's going to be all of these things, that releases this dopamine in your brain that makes you feel like you've made progress.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're telling someone.
Yeah.
But I think that's different than what you're saying.
Well, I think the difference between that is saying what you're gonna do versus what you are doing. I don't know, I could be wrong about that, but I didn't start telling people I quit drinking until I quit drinking, you know?
Yeah.
Where I was like, I don't drink anymore. So then people are like, you want a beer? No, I quit drinking.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And because I think the difference there is if you tell someone, I'm going to start this clothing brand, it makes you feel good, and it just makes them think, oh, whoa, they're going to start it.
Yeah.
But they don't, there's no accountability at that point.
Right.
They're not going to be like, whoa, well, show me your t-shirt. It's like, well, I haven't started it yet.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I really, really like that, because you're right. If we just continue with the drinking example, if only you know that you're quitting drinking, and then you're home alone and you're sad, or you're out at a bar with a bunch of friends, the difference of following through with that. I don't know where I'm going with this, other than I was forming this big situation in my head, and then I just realized the moral of the situation was, I agree with you, Shaffer. If other people know, then that makes it way easier to follow through.
It really does. Well, it becomes less about about you. I mean, it's all about you, but it becomes less about like you trying to accomplish X, Y, or Z, and it's more just like staying consistent with what you've told people who you are. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I'm really scared. I think it works for me probably because I'm so scared of like lying to people. And whatever.
Man, and I gotta say, just as a side note, Shaffer doesn't drink, and he is the best hangs on nights out at bars and stuff. Like, Shaffer doesn't drink at all, and he's the one who decides we should run through the snow waist deep. Like, that's his idea. And then he's the one who's dancing the hardest on the dance floor. When the rest of us have been drinking, Shaffer hasn't been. He's dancing harder than anyone else. It's so cool to see, because I think usually when people think of someone being sober or not drinking at all, they're like, oh, that's the friend that never goes out when everyone else goes out.
Yeah.
And Shaffer's just like, he will close down the bars with us, and it's so sick.
Yeah, I think that was just like a huge thing when I quit, was just like, I don't want this to change, like that. Especially since like where I live, like I do have really good friends, but I don't have a ton of friends. It's like I don't want to lose the friends I have because of some decision like that. And also, it's just fun. Like, I think it's been a long, grueling process to get over the feeling like, because the thing about alcohol that was best for me was like the self-confidence it gives you, and you just like do things you would never do otherwise. And then dude, I just think like the less you do it, the more you just realize it wasn't the alcohol all along. It was the friends you made along the way. But like you can unlock, like with enough work, you can unlock that part of your personality without needing to tap into some sort of like, which once I figured that out, I was like, oh, it's on. I'm gonna go out every night anyone else goes out, like I'm there, you know?
That's awesome.
Yeah,
especially because, you know, people always talk about, I don't know what the word for it is, but you, even if you're not drinking at all, you kind of just absorb the energy of the situation you're in.
Yeah.
And so the point is, it's not the alcohol that makes it fun. It's just everyone deciding we're going to have a loose, good time tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
And also just like not trying to get anything out of it other than a good time. Like, you know, in the past I've also gone to bars or drinking or whatever to like meet girls, and never works, first off. And second, like if you're just there like with a whole nother mindset, like I'm literally just here to have a really good time, then you'll have a way better time.
I am so sorry for doubting you on the orange slices.
That's like a dope orange slice.
Oh my god. That's insane. That's the best thing made so far.
I don't know. The eggs look pretty good. And the asparagus.
You even dotted the rind. Look, okay, it's not an autofocus, but this is an insane orange slice. I'll never doubt you again, Shaffer Nickel.
When have you?
Oh, never.
Oh, yeah. That is a dope orange slice. My resolution at the beginning of the podcast was to make the best orange slice, and I didn't tell anyone.
Wow, and look at
you
now.
And I did it.
You've already done it. I surprisingly haven't figured out my resolutions fully yet this year.
I think I actually haven't either.
And I think that's okay, because
you kind of get one shot at it though. It's called midnight.
Damn it. Okay, never mind. I'll wait till next year. No, I think it's so important to be okay with the seasonality mindset. Like, just because you don't start something on January 1st doesn't mean you can't do it.
Yeah,
you know?
well, usually my resolutions are way bigger. Like, they're not things I could start at midnight.
Yeah, exactly. And I also have had this mindset of, it's holidays, I want to slow down, hang with family, hang with friends, just have a good time.
Yeah.
And so, and also enveloped in that has been just reflection on where my life's at, where I want it to be. So it's not like currently I have anything concrete set, but there's definitely just a lot brewing in my head of changes I want to make. But one of my resolutions that is hard stone gonna happen is I'm starting a fingerboard YouTube channel. I mean, not YouTube channel, Instagram.
Going all
I don't want to commit to YouTube yet, but I'm definitely starting a fingerboarding Instagram page.
At Jakey Fingers.
Hell yeah. Is that what you guys decided it was?
Well, just Jake Fingers.
Jake Fingers. Yeah, so feel free to find me on Instagram at Jake Fingers. There's no chance that's actually what it's gonna be. I'm gonna think of a different name. Yeah.
It's the best
I don't know
name.
why. I love fingerboarding so much, but the word finger is a terrible word. And looking at fingers is terrible. I'm wanting to get a tattoo from Shaffer's sister Bailey while we're here. And she drew up some of the coolest fingerboarding tattoo designs ever, but I'm not going to get any of them because fingers freak me out and I do not want a finger tattooed on my body.
Dude, I just think the name Jake Fingers is so good. Every time I say it, I smile.
It is pretty good. You like that more than Frew Fingers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jake Fingers sounds.
Yeah.
Jake Fingers sounds like some sort of like video game character that you like buy. I don't even know
It
what.
reminds me of some like backwoods gas station attendant that everyone knows about.
Jake Fingers.
And they're like, kids, be sure you stay away from Jake Fingers.
I don't know. I think it's a really good name.
Well, maybe it'll happen.
Yeah.
The Instagram page will happen. I don't know if it'll be called Jake Fingers.
So what's the inspiration? I mean, I know you love fingerboarding.
Yeah.
Tell me more about out of all the things you could commit a year to, how Jake Fingers came out on top.
I obviously love fingerboarding, and it's becoming a little unsettling how much I need to have it on me. Like, I thought I lost my fingerboard the other day, and I was freaking out.
Yeah, he was freaking out.
And it, like, I don't know. It honestly helps me focus a lot. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is, social media has, not even social media, just posting anything online has become so intimidating for me.
Yeah.
That I'm just so stoked to have something as stupid as fingerboarding and just post a dumb kickflip clip on an Instagram page. It just sounds fun and refreshing. And also, I secretly really want companies to send me free fingerboarding stuff.
Yeah, that'd be cool. You have a long road ahead of you.
Yeah, I do.
You know one trick.
I know.
I'm not trying to talk you out of anything. I'm just saying keep practicing.
There's already so little interest in fingerboarding that to get a company to send you something for free, you have to be the best.
I don't know. I think the overlap of fingerboarding and really good fingerboarding shots. Because there's kind of like one way people shoot fingerboarding that's like with your phone, whatever.
Yeah.
But you could shoot like 4K 120p and do like crop-ins and stuff.
That's true.
And like,
really interesting lighting.
yeah, super interesting lighting.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think there's still hope.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. I think that'll just be hopefully a fun return to posting things online.
Yeah.
Fun little creative outlet.
Dude, it's so brutal. This week I posted a fingerboarding video before Jake did, so I'm Jake Fingers now. But my Jake Fingers post, I posted a reel on Instagram, which I've never done. And
You've never posted a reel?
no, God, no.
Whoa.
And I got a hot 10 likes, which
It's
doesn't mean anything, but
yeah, it doesn't mean anything, but it's also really disappointing because it was the sickest video of our friend Dom getting tattooed by Shaffer's sister Bailey, and then it pans down as he's getting tattooed, and he's also fingerboarding a rail. It's just, to me,
it's wholesome content.
It's wholesome. It's surprising. It's funny. I laughed. I cried. It moved me, and it didn't get much attention.
Yeah. It's funny how it's just like, I really don't even the caption on the video was nothing matters. It's funny how much I don't care, and then you get 10 likes, and then you're like, I suck. Everyone hates me anyway.
Yeah, I know that's not unique to just you and I. It's so insane how you can know that something you created is not your best work. You know it doesn't matter. You know it's just a phone clip that you thought was funny.
Yeah.
And then as soon as internet analytic validation gets tangled up in it, you start questioning so many things about yourself.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. I know it's not just us. And
I just.
I don't know how to get past it.
I don't even care.
But
It doesn't even bother me.
we've been doing a really good job at saying we don't care about how this podcast does, because we honestly have the best time just talking about stupid stuff on this podcast that is still not online, that I hope we continue to do it regardless. And I hope this is the first time we realize that something's worth doing regardless of how it performs.
Guess we'll find out.
I guess we'll
I think
find
we're
out.
gonna. I think we're like gonna have all this. We're gonna be so gung ho to get stuff done when it's not being uploaded, and then we'll post one and be like. Turns out we just like talking to each other.
That's true. It has been really easy to record episodes when we know it's not on the internet yet.
Yeah. I'm scared, dude. I'm scared of being like seen and heard.
Yeah.
Because I don't want people to think one thing I say is like set in stone. I've changed so much just this year, you know. It's hard to like put something out there that you know you can't change.
That's true.
So, you know, no big deal.
Yeah. Well, everyone listening, just do us a favor and forget everything we say.
I like what Curtis Connor says. He goes, I'm the mayor of Curtistown and everyone has to be nice to me.
Yeah.
What is that?
That's... Don't worry about it.
All right.
That's just a scrap left.
Wait, what happened to the leaves?
I hated the leaves. I made peas instead.
The peas are good.
Peas are way easier to make.
What's another breakfast food? Bread.
Bread.
Oh,
Toast.
Dude.
Buttered toast.
This could be the crust, and this could be the bread.
Oh, that's genius.
Oh, butter on top.
But pancakes.
Pancakes.
It's just going to be the opposite of this
color
egg.
as that, yeah. I think it's got to be bread. Bread.
Or waffles.
Oh.
Belgian. I'll make a Belgian waffle.
Good luck, dude.
Out of blue.
Shoot, blue waffle?
Blue gonna be.
I don't know about blue waffles, man. I think toast is a staple.
Toast is a staple. I don't even know if I want to talk about this, but I think the weirdest thing about starting this podcast, and the reason that it has felt great doing them without posting them, is because I always come back to this feeling of, why should anyone care what I have to say?
Yeah, I think that's what I've been thinking this entire time.
Like, why should anyone care what I have to say? And when the internet is so noisy and full of garbage already, why would I just add more garbage to it? And I know that sounds really...
Tell me something that'll make me feel better, because that's how I feel.
Well, I think the point is, like, the feeling of, why should anyone care what I have to say? I think that's an okay baseline feeling to have. But it goes back to a theme we've talked about a bunch of times, where creativity is generous. And I know, without a doubt, so many people's artwork that I care about, I would love to just hear their raw thoughts on creativity. And so I don't think anyone should care what I have to say. Like, I don't think anyone should care. But I hope that there's a couple people out there that my videos have meant something to and they want to hear background on. Like, I think that's valuable. And I know for me as a consumer of other people's artwork that it means a lot to me. So why not be generous and offer that to people who it might mean something to?
Yeah, that's a good reason.
And because my life has zero consistency, nothing that feels like a part of a job that I can count on. And I really want that. And this is the best thing I've ever found for that, is
that's true.
Recording a podcast with you that feels consistent. And honestly, it helps my creativity. It helps my ability to think of new video ideas and to be reassured of where art I'm trying to make is going and all that.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad. I'm glad.
Thanks. How about you?
Dude, I'm honestly, if I'm just being honest, I've just had a hard time with everything lately. Not anything serious. Like I'm fine, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I go through, I mean, you know this. I go through these phases where I just am like, okay, it's time to just fully restart everything. Just nuke everything, start from scratch.
Yeah.
And I've been feeling that hard lately.
Really?
Like, oh yeah, I've wanted to, like, the desire I've had to just nuke the channel completely and start something else is very, very high right now. And I mean, if anything, this has been a good reason for me not to do that, I guess. But it always feels like kind of a comforting thing to start over. That's always, I mean, you know this about me. That's always been the way I am.
Yeah.
It's just like, I think this is from someone else, but when I hung out with Nathaniel Drew, one of the things he said that I thought was really cool is he was just like, the coolest thing you could be gifted as someone who is like whatever, like making anything, would just be to only be judged on the next thing you make and to never be judged on things you've made in the past. Because then it's like there's no, you know, like, I don't know, there have been things I've made in the past, like in the past year in 2022 that I just kind of wish I didn't, you know?
Yeah.
But they are out there, and I know that it's a better thing to leave them up than to take them down in the long run. But man, lately I've just been feeling like, man, it would just be so cool if the only thing anyone ever knew you for was your most recent thing.
Yeah.
And then everything else is just forgotten. So I think the podcast scares me because that's just not an option, you know?
Yeah.
Because I've always had the option to take things down. Always.
Yeah.
It's like if I'm
And
just
you
like,
have many times.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I did this week. I won't tell you which ones.
Oh no.
So I guess I'm just intimidated. It's something I need to grow out of, which is fine. But yeah, the deeper in we get and the more it becomes real, like we're actually uploading something, the more I just feel like, dang, this is like not like my channel where I can just nuke it.
Yeah.
And go back into oblivion.
Man, I definitely know what you mean.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense. And to me, one of the most beautiful things of the internet is story arc.
Yeah.
And just seeing the progression of someone's path and the artwork they make, the cliche of going back to someone's first video.
Yeah.
So many people love doing that. I love doing that because it's so encouraging to see where someone has come.
Yeah.
But I don't know, that's not helpful. It's kind of just a cheesy anecdote because what you're saying is very real.
Yeah.
And for me, I think what I'm struggling with is that I haven't made something that feels like my best work in a while.
Yeah.
I still feel like my best work has come out of 2020. And it's really hard now being like, I don't know how to get back to that.
Yeah.
I don't know how to return to what I think is my best work. Because anytime I make things now, I feel like it's not my best work. And that's also a very strange, difficult feeling.
That is strange and difficult, yeah. Yeah, it's weird. Like I feel like it almost feels like every time you upload something, it doesn't feel like a. Sometimes it does, but I feel like more often than not, it doesn't feel like a relief. It feels like you're giving something up. You know what I mean? Like for me, it's like my favorite artists in the entire world are all very mysterious. They all spend a huge amount of time on something big, and then they put it out there, and then it's like this, and then. Outside of that work that they produce, like my favorite artists, you don't know anything about them. You don't know the personal life, nothing, no details. And it's hard because that's the thing that I find most intriguing. Like that's my favorite type of artist is the one where you just like, you don't know what they think about X, Y, and Z. You don't know their political opinions. You don't know their religious whatever. The only thing you know is these abstract little glimpses you get into what they think and feel and believe. And every time I release something public into the world, I feel like I give some of that up. Where it's just like the mystery. You're letting go of like the mystery. And I think that's like kind of maybe not a narcissistic thing, but like to feel like you have any level of intrigue is something that is, like nobody, it's like a weird thing to want that.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
But I don't know. It just feels weird. Like this podcast feels like the biggest sacrifice of the intrigue.
Whoa.
Which is like something you can't reverse. So
thanks everyone for listening to Friends with Benedicts.
The last episode.
The final episode. It's been a wild ride so far, but we're really glad y'all have joined along. Shaffer is now going to disappear into the ether for 10 years.
Well, but there's no benefit in that, you know?
I know.
So it's just like that. I'm conflicted.
Wow. That is
I know, it sucks.
That's a heavy conflict.
Oh, I got real there. Sorry, I'm taking this back for a second.
Oh, you're good. Yeah. No, that's great. That's really interesting. I haven't put much thought to that. And also, we were talking with Bailey, your sister, yesterday, who is such an artist,
like
a true artist. It was interesting hearing her thoughts about how, I think I said something about how art is this gift and I interpret it and I apply it to my own life. And Bailey said that she really hopes her art reveals a little bit about her. And it makes the consumer of the art think, what was the artist thinking when they made this? What did they have in mind? What inspired this? I thought that was really interesting because I'm, on YouTube, you get so used to, this is just for the consumer. I'm giving you knowledge. I'm giving you entertainment, whatever. So I like that idea of, creating things that with the goal of, well, not with the goal of, but maybe it's more so as a consumer of art, trying to think more about, like, what inspired this? What's the story of the person who made this? And I lost my train of thought, but I think it's cool.
To finish, like, what intrigues me about that is I like it most when you just have no access to that information.
Yeah.
All you have is the art. The only thing that you have is going off of what little you've been given, as opposed to being able to go look up a podcast interview where you have hours and hours and hours and hours of their perspective.
Yeah.
It makes it way less your own. It makes it a little more just like, that's what they meant.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe that's kind of exactly the conclusion of where I was trying to go with that thought is like, yeah, when you do have that mystery, maybe it makes the consumer of the artwork just ponder more of like, whoa, I wonder what inspired this. I wonder what the person is like that created this.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I freaking love being able to feel a connection to all these stories on the internet and have there's been times in my life where I've had access to a person on the internet through podcast that has been through a very, I don't know why I'm making it so mysterious. Pete Holmes is a comedian who has such a similar story to mine, like raised in the church, cheated on by his wife, divorced, like all this stuff that's just so parallel to my story. But he's, 10 years older than me or something. And just getting to hear him on his podcast, and see this week by week update of how he's changing and growing and how he's living his life. For me, that was so beneficial in my life.
Yeah.
That's something I just love so much about the internet and about that openness is, man, my life was made so much better by having Pete Holmes as this, as a model, for how a human can move through these really hard things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I understand it for sure. Like both sides I understand like deeply.
Yeah.
But
and I think it takes all kinds, you know?
Yeah.
that needs to exist, as well as the Kendrick Lamars that disappear and then come back with unreal artwork.
Yeah. And I still feel like I'm in the early days. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
that's one thing that can kind of hide you a little bit is time. Like, you can disappear for a while if you have to or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. It's just a weird thing. Weird transition. Is that good bread?
Whoa.
The crust kind of looks weird.
No, it looks great. It looks like toast with butter.
It's garbage.
You're garbage, Shaffer.
I
Art
know.
is garbage.
I know.
You can't make toast Play-Doh.
Wait,
No,
this is looking really
this
good.
looks great.
Yeah, it's actually really good.
Nothing like a breakfast of peas, eggs, orange slices, bacon, asparagus, and one piece of buttered toast.
A champion's breakfast.
Oh, and don't forget,
Water.
a glass of water.
Wow, you made that like way faster than I made my glass of orange juice. It took me a long time. Dude, Play-Doh's fun.
This is fun.
Maybe I'll just be a Play-Doh guy.
This has been the most enjoyable podcast yet. Just
I know.
because
It's probably the worst to listen to because we're all just like,
probably just half-assed talking about things because we're distracted by
on the
Play-Doh.
It's so relaxing.
Do you think Play-Doh smells good?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's one of the best smelling
Smells like
things
my
on
childhood.
Earth. Yeah.
Did you ever have the edible Play-Doh?
I was just thinking about that, and I didn't know. Well, I think all Play-Doh's edible because this says compound not intended to be eaten, which
So that means
it's edible. It even says contains wheat.
non-toxic.
They're like giving you allergen info because they know you're
They
gonna
couldn't
eat it.
They could not.
Compound not.
They could
intended.
not allow this to be eaten,
Yeah.
or they could not allow this to not whatever, because kids would die.
Yeah.
Should we take a bite?
Probably. Do you want to pee?
Yeah, I'll take a pee. That's a lot, but I'll take a pee.
Here, you can just make.
Yeah,
your
make me
own
a brand
pee.
new one.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers. It's so
It's so
salty.
salty. Oh.
Oh my god, so bad. I don't think I can swallow
I'm not
it.
gonna swallow it yet.
Ugh.
No way. Oh,
Oh, it's so bad. How is it that bad?
dude, eat some of this chocolate.
Oh my god. They must make it that bad so I can spit it out.
I guess so.
Holy.
Because I remember eating Play-Doh as a kid, and it was not that.
That's what we should have done to wake up.
Seriously. Should we start this podcast over now that we're...
That was so bad.
Oh my
I
gosh.
can't get it out of my mouth.
Thanks everyone for tuning in to this episode of Friends with Benedicts. Breakfast around the world.
Oh, don't eat Play-Doh.
Don't eat Play-Doh.
Oh my god.
Thank you.